The Day We Die Chapter 3. No, Eden said firmly. Nobody goes anywhere alone. She looked at Heather. You and I will work on the article. If we print the story, maybe someone in town will finally talk. There could be people who know things they never told. Celine let out a slow breath. So that's it. Split up and hope we don't die in the meantime. Eden forced herself to look each of them in the eye. No, we split up so we don't die. We cover everything. If this thing comes for us, it's going to find out we're not just waiting around. For a second, nobody moved. Then Heather squared her shoulders. Okay, we meet back at my house tonight. No later than 8. Check in every hour. Rachel nodded. Deal. Celine pulled out her phone. Then let's get to work. The girls separate and hope to find answers. Celine at the library. Celine stalked down the main aisle of the Meadowlark Public Library, her sneakers squeaking on the tile. She was tired of being scared. Tired of feeling helpless. In the archives room, she started pulling town council records and newspaper microfilm reels. If there were other drownings on the 7th and 21st, especially ones people forgot, she would find them. As she scanned through a brittle old ledger, a date jumped out at her, August 7, 1953. A woman drowned in her kitchen sink on her birthday. Celine's hands went clammy. She wrote it down, feeling the dread deepen. Rachel at the mill pond. Rachel and her older brother Devon parked by the collapsed fence near the pond. Water sloshed softly in the reeds. The air smelled metallic, like old pennies. I don't get why you need to be here, Devon said, shifting uneasily. Because I have to. They picked their way along the overgrown bank. Rachel felt drawn to the water, like something was humming under it. She crouched near a half-buried rock, brushing away leaves, and froze. A length of rope, rotted and stained dark, coiled in the mud. Eden and Heather at school newspaper office. Eden paced between the computers and the corkboard cluttered with photos. If we print this, the town's going to freak out. Good, Heather said. Freaked out people talk. Eden turned to look at the photo of Harry Harvey, the only one they could find, a blurred, yellowed image in a 1917 employee record. He didn't look like a monster. He looked tired, human. Heather was already typing the headline, The Ghost of the Mill, the forgotten lynchings behind Meadowlark's birthday drownings. Eden swallowed. I hope this works. Chapter 3 continued. Celine's eyes were burning. She'd been hunched over the microfilm reader for hours, scrolling past decades of death notices and council minutes. She almost missed it, a yellowed front page from the Charlotte Observer, dated October 12, 1942. River Dam Project to Bring Progress, Power to MEADOLITH. Beneath the triumphant headline was a photograph, the dam under construction, water already beginning to swallow fields and rooftops. Celine leaned closer. In the bottom corner, half obscured by the caption, was a sign nailed to a fence post, PENNYVILLE. She scrolled back, fingers trembling, until she found the earlier articles. PENNYVILLE celebrates new community school, June 1937. PENNYVILLE cooperative farms break records during drought, August 1933. PENNYVILLE boys enlist in war effort, March 1942. Her throat went dry. Pennyville hadn't just been any settlement. It was an entire town, founded by people who'd once been enslaved, built by their children and grandchildren. For decades, they'd saved every cent to buy land, to educate each other, to build something nobody could take. Until somebody did. Celine flipped forward. She found it, buried in a tiny column on page 6. Late last evening, a fire of unknown origin consumed the main street of Pennyville. Due to the absence of many young men serving overseas, the town was unable to contain the flames. The next day's paper claimed the residents had relocated. But no list of names. No interviews, just a sudden erasure. She scrolled forward again, to an editorial from Mayor Robert Thacker. While unfortunate, the destruction of Pennyville has cleared the way for modernization and progress. The dam will serve Meadowlark for generations to come. Celine's stomach rolled. It wasn't an accident. It was a cover-up. She pulled her phone from her pocket and started snapping photos of the screen. Every article, every headline. When she was done, she just sat there, the buzzing fluorescent light making her feel 1,000 miles from her body. Maybe this was why the death started again. It wasn't only Harry Harvey's lynching. It was everything that came after. Every injustice layered over the last like sediment. Every life drowned and forgotten. A voice behind her made her jump. You find what you were looking for. It was Ms. Lillian, the reference librarian, a white woman in her 70s with sharp eyes. Celine swallowed. I think I did. Ms. Lillian glanced at the microfilm. Her mouth pinched. Some things the town would rather stay buried. That doesn't mean they should be, Celine said, her voice shaking. Ms. Lillian studied her for a long moment, then nodded once. Be careful, Celine. Not everyone will thank you for digging this up. When Celine left the library, the sun was low and the clouds were turning purple over the dam. She felt like she was seeing it for the first time, not a triumph of progress, but a tomb. At Heather's house, the others were already waiting. Rachel had a muddy bundle in her lap, an old rope coiled in plastic. Heather held up a draft of their article. Eden looked up, her eyes worried. "What did you find?" Celine dropped her backpack on the carpet and sat hard. "Everything," she said hoarsely. "I found everything." Chapter 4. The walls close in. Eden knew something was wrong the second she woke up. Even before she saw her mother's face, pale and stricken in the doorway. "Baby," she said, her voice raw. "Don't come outside." But Eden did. She followed her out onto the lawn and felt her stomach drop. Nooses, dozens of them, hanging from the trees, the porch railing, the mailbox. Some were rough, old rope. Some were shiny new yellow nylon. Each one swung lazily in the dawn breeze. On the front door, someone had spray painted, "Leave it buried." Her father was already on the phone with the sheriff, his voice tight with anger he was trying to keep from boiling over. Neighbors peered from their curtains but didn't come out. Eden felt her face go numb. This wasn't 1917. It wasn't 1942. It was 2027. And still, here it was. She thought about Harry Harvey's picture. She thought about her house this morning. About how nobody wanted to remember. And she thought, I am not going to shut up. Later that morning, Heather's mom picked her up. The second Heather climbed in the car, Eden could tell something was wrong. Her eyes were red and her mouth was tight. "My dad," Heather started, voice cracking. "He said if we publish anything else, the mayor will have him fired. He'll lose everything, his insurance, our house. But, he said he won't lose his job because of me. Because of us." Eden felt something sink in her chest. "I'm so sorry." Heather didn't answer. She just stared out the window, jaw clenched. That afternoon, Celine's discovery. They met at the park near the dam, all four of them sitting on the same bench, trying not to look like fugitives. Celine spread out her photocopies and started explaining. Her voice was tight but steady. Pennyville was prosperous, so prosperous that Thacker couldn't stand it. He burned it down while the men were away at war. Then he flooded the ruins. That was October 1942. Heather swallowed. The dam dedication was the next year. Eden looked at Rachel. "You think that's why the death started again?" Rachel nodded. "He didn't just murder them. He buried them in water, like Harry." Celine leaned in. "And that means this isn't over." "It's never been over." Nobody spoke for a long time, trying to research the 21st. The next morning, they went back to the library. Celine walked straight to Ms. Lillian's desk. "We need the archives. We're looking for deaths on the 21st. Ms. Lillian didn't meet her eyes. Her hands folded primly. "I'm sorry. The archives are closed to the public." "You can't." "There were complaints," Ms. Lillian said, voice low. "From the Historical Society, from the mayor's office." Heather's hands balled into fists. "You can't do this." "I can," she said softly. "And I have too." Celine's heart hammered. She felt like someone had shut a door and turned out the lights all at once. They left without another word. Chapter 5. Everything cancelled. By the end of the week, all four of their birthday parties were cancelled. No sleepovers, no cookouts. "For your safety," the adults said, though nobody ever said what they were afraid of. The only event nobody dared cancel was the 4th of July social and parade. Every year, the whole town turned up in their red, white and blue. This year, the parade would go right past the dam. Eden sat on her bed that night, staring at her phone as messages trickled in. "Heather, if the pattern is real, someone will die on July 3rd Road. We're running out of time." "Rachel, if they won't let us have a party, maybe the 4th of July is the only place everyone will be together. Maybe it's the only place we can do something." "Celine, if they want us to leave it buried, it means the truth matters. We can't stop." Eden closed her eyes. She thought of the nooses, of the drowned town, of the names nobody would say out loud. And she texted back, "Eden, then we find a way. We tell the truth, even if it kills us." Chapter 6. Countdown. June 30th. Rachel hadn't slept in 2 nights. Every time she closed her eyes, she dreamed of water, black and cold, filling her lungs. She'd wake up gasping, her sheets twisted around her like ropes. When Eden's phone buzzed that morning, it was a message in all caps. "Rachel, we have to find WHO else has a birthday. If it's just me, I'm dead." Heather called an emergency meeting at her garage. They sat on the oil-stained floor with a laptop and a stack of yearbooks, cross-referencing any birthday announcements they could find. Celine's voice was hoarse from reading aloud. June 3rd, June 7th, June 21st, July 3rd, Rachel Dews, and... Her finger stopped. Terry Nolan, the janitor at County General. Rachel pressed her fists to her mouth. "So it's him or me. Or both," Eden whispered.
Please join our 4 plucky junior reporters in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe for more content like this.